views and opinions shared by our guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of Northstar or its team.
We all want a comfortable retirement, but there's a danger zone many retirees fall into without even knowing it. Imagine you've got your Social Security and a pension coming in, but you're still dipping into your 401k for that fun money or to cover expenses. So we brought in George Fossing and Zach Jenkins from Northstar Financial and Retirement Planning to kind of talk us through it. Hi guys.
Happy Wednesday morning.
Happy Wednesday morning. And y'all are seeing, folks who are taking out more than the IRS required. Is this true on some stuff?
Oh yeah,
or?
yeah. I mean, required means you have to at some point, age 73 now, start taking distributions out of your retirement accounts.
Right.
They want their tax money.
Yes.
Okay, but you could take it out sooner. It's just not required.
If you take it out sooner, do you get taxed more?
No, it's ordinary income.
Okay.
So basically, it's just deferred wages, right?
Okay,
You take it out
yeah.
pre-tax, and you go and reinvest it, and which is nice.
Right.
But at some point, what do you want to do? I know what you want to do.
I want to spend it.
Heck yeah,
Yeah.
that's why you save,
yeah.
right? And being able to spend with confidence is really the rule there. But being aware how you take the money out is critical, because you have your after-tax money, basically you might have sold a home or property and you have the cash in the bank. Then you have your retirement accounts, your IRAs, and your 401ks, which is pre-tax. And then you have your tax-free, which is your Roth money. So it's really good to have those all three buckets.
Yeah, Zach
makes
loves a
sense.
bucket. So I love that you do that. So if the IRS says that the required minimum is roughly, what, 3.7%?
Oh, look at you.
Yeah,
How'd you know that?
I'm a good reader when you give me good notes. Or 4%. Why is it, taking it more dangerous if you have other incomes?
Well, the more income that you have, the more taxes you're going to have to pay. And you can, I guess, work part of the conversation towards that required minimum distribution piece to it. And if that exceeds what you need, it could or could not be a big deal. Just kind of depends. But where you see that really affect people is when they've got all this income. They thought, well, I didn't really know that I was going to be in a 22% tax bracket.
Yeah.
So if they're thinking, I really want to have X amount to spend, well, you've got to take in excess of that out, and the higher your tax rate, the more you're going to have to take to have what you want. So George was talking about not waiting when it comes to IRA distributions. I mean, most of our clients that are retired, they're taking distributions on their IRA. Well, look at your entire tax picture and how all that fits in, because if your RMD is going to be larger, if it's more than what you're going to need, it could put you into a position where you have some unintended tax consequences.
And we don't want that. And we also, have you, and I think you've, dealt with this before, when someone realizes that they may be taking out too much, can you then pivot?
Yeah, I'll give you an example. I've used this in the past, but this is why tax planning does matter, especially your first couple of years of retirement, where you can make some moves because your income's usually lower, you're not working. So, and putting yourself in a good spot. The example I use, I think I've done this on the program before, got a call from one of the viewers after the program and said, my Social Security went down. So I got less in the bank this year than I did last year. How can that happen? Can you? Would that freak you out?
That would freak me out, especially when you don't have others.
Make you mad, right? You're going the other way. That
Yeah.
cost of living. What happened? I asked one question. I said, "Did you take a large distribution out of one of your retirement accounts last year?" Again, I didn't know this woman, and she goes, "Matter of fact, I did."
Oh, and they put that in.
It's ordinary income. It was a big. Her daughter got divorced. She lived out in California. She paid her taxes on it. The IRA sent her the money, but that was reportable income. It bumped her up, and her Social Security got taxed at a higher percent, thus, which comes out of what?
So then, what do you do? Do you not?
Paycheck.
You just don't take out that money
You
yet.
just plan ahead.
Okay.
Again, if right? I mean, that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
Is be proactive with that.
One of our clients, he was just kind of leaning back in a review a couple weeks ago, and he just said, "I like you guys because you're on my side and they're not."
Yeah.
And you know who they?
Yeah, the
That's
government.
the government.
Yeah.
And so you having a plan, having a runway, right, makes it easier. If you are mid or late 60s, about to retire, or you are retired, and you're concerned about taxes later, trying to keep as much as you can, then having a few years is good. We've had people come to us and they're already having to take required minimum distributions, and we can still put together a strategy and help them minimize what they're going to pay. But when you've got several years to work with, you have a much longer runway and you can really do some work there.
And just finish up with the legacy planning. their biggest wealth is their home and their retirement accounts. Home's not usually an issue, but retirement accounts, kids inherit this thing. It's a tax time bomb, right?
Yeah.
And so here you go, say you're age 85 or something, you pass away, kids are in their 50s, they're at their highest wage earning years, right? And now they inherit these IRAs, and they've got 10 years, they have to empty that out. They've got to pay taxes on it. So not a good situation. The government puts, it's on purpose.
Right.
Kind of naive to think otherwise.
Yeah.
Okay, so the rules have changed. So for legacy planning, it makes a lot of sense to get in front of this.
Yes.
Kids aren't going to argue either way.
Right.
But don't put them in, you can do something about it today, it just helps them.
Yes, when you were trying to help them and it actually could have.
Especially with, they don't have pensions anymore.
Yeah.
So the kids they get this inheritance maybe once in their lifetime, and making this work for them, help them out, could be a huge help.
Well, let them help you out just by giving them a call. We love our friends at Northstar.
Thanks,
Thank
Megan.
you for making this make sense. If you would like to talk to them about all your planning so you're not ever worried, give them a call right now. You can see their number on the screen. You see their QR code. It'll take you right to them. You can set up a meeting and ask about their principal protection review. They'll help determine if your current 401k withdrawals are sustainable or if you're putting your future security at risk. Again, call the number right there on your screen, Northstar Financial and Retirement Planning.